Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Is there a Sussex Diddy freak tape? Explosive claim. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Sean Combs, also known as P Diddy, currently languishes in a prison cell. He has been charged with some very serious crimes. It's also the case that hundreds of victims have come forward, indeed, now running into the thousands, although, so far, only 120 lawsuits have been prepared, but there may be more to come. There was a recent press conference whereby the lawyer that is organising the class action against P Diddy spoke about the fact that there were some high-profile celebrity individuals who were potential defendants, that there are a multiplicity of victims, which also includes individuals who were at one point minors, who allege that they were abused. Many people want to know who the other people were that were involved, who the individuals were that attended these notorious parties, the individuals who engaged in abusing other people, or facilitated it, or simply watched and did nothing to intervene. It is suggested that, as is often common with a narcissist such as P Diddy, that much of the activity was recorded, as much for the use of P Diddy and his own tastes, as also to utilise the material to assert control over the people by way of blackmail. At this point, nobody has been convicted. At this point, there has been no judgment in any civil claim. We have seen the filmed footage of P Diddy assaulting his girlfriend. There are many allegations against him, and he has been involved in controversies in the past. The extent of the evidence and the rumours that have always swirled around him starts to suggest, along with the fact that, of course, he's a narcissist, that there is something that has taken place and that at these parties abuse occurred against a number of unwilling victims. Who the other participants are is something that has resulted in considerable speculation. There are some that have come forward and identified themselves as victims. None of their evidence has yet been tested in a court of law, but it is building up a groundswell against P Diddy and the threat that others may well be exposed. One individual who has spoken out is somebody called Jaguar Wright. If you're not familiar with who this person is, her real name is Jacqueline Suzette Wright Johnson. She's an American singer. She's released 5 studio albums and is part of the OK Player Collective. She's performed and collaborated alongside rap acts such as The Roots, Jay-Z, and Black Alicious. She has made certain allegations. She has made headlines previously, back in 2020, regarding issues about the trajectory of her music career, her fallout with several members of The Roots, and her grievances with artists such as Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, and Mary J. Blige, as well as a claim that her then boyfriend, Common, sexually assaulted her after performing a concert in the mid-2000s. This individual has also made some very serious allegations with regard to people being involved in claims of abuse and unlawful and criminal activity involving P. Diddy. She appeared on Piers Morgan's Uncensored recently and made a number of claims there. There isn't any evidence other than what she has to say, whereby she explains that she has a handful of strong claims that she repeated on air when speaking with Piers Morgan. She stated, Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. When she was asked why Wright believed Jay-Z was silent during the ongoing Diddy lawsuit, she alleged because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. She then directly addressed Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, saying to the camera, "That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice." When Morgan asked how dangerous she believed Diddy to be, she hit back, stating, "I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met." She highlighted that people have questioned her knowledge of Diddy and that the pair seemingly have no photographs together, despite claiming she'd attended Diddy parties. She said this is because she is smart. "I would never take a picture with the devil," she said, before claiming he has been protected for his alleged crimes. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. She believes that Diddy will have to cooperate with authorities, with bold claims that his ego and drug addiction won't allow him to do any different. She also alleged he's got everybody on tape. They all know it, and we'll return to that presently. When Piers Morgan asked her about the freak-offs, which Diddy allegedly orchestrated as cited in the civil lawsuit, Wright started by disclaiming she was once a sex worker before she landed a record deal. She claimed a lot of sex workers have worn hidden cameras. She explained, "I have my own tapes. I see what they do," she said, whilst making bold claims about ritualistic behaviours and drugging. She said that many of the behaviours were either paid off or under strict non-disclosure agreements. Following the release of an unofficial Kim Porter biography, published by Los Angeles producer Chris Todd, Wright was asked about speculation surrounding Diddy's ex's death. She said, "I think people should look into that more." In a statement regarding the memoir, Diddy's attorney, Erica Wolf, previously said, "The Kim Porter memoir is fake. It is also offensive, a shameless attempt to profit from tragedy." In relation to these allegations, another guest that appeared on Morgan's show was unimpressed by what she had to say. The second guest, DJ Vlad, called her a conspiracy theorist. He stated, "Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything she says. I never had her on my show, and I have no plans to have her on my show. A lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but I can't co-sign on anything that Jaguar Wright is saying." Jaguar Wright, therefore, has made a series of serious allegations, but has not provided any evidence to support this. She's been dismissed as a conspiracy theorist by another guest. Might it be that this is an attempt to discredit and silence somebody who actually does know something about what has gone on? Or is this individual a fantasist that is seeing a moment of opportunity to gain some attention by claiming to know more than she actually does? You can make your own mind up about that. But the allegations that she makes in relation to the creation of these tapes, which people are on, and which undoubtedly, if the allegations are correct, will show them engaging in behaviour that they'd rather the world not know about, is something that could prove entirely problematic for the high-profile individuals that are mentioned. The suggestion is that famous celebrities have been involved in either abuse themselves or as voyeurs, observing the abuse and failing to prevent it, that they have in effect been complicit in what has gone on. And naturally, they've been recorded either engaging in the abuse or being seen at the parties where the abuse has taken place, and in the circumstances would not want that information to ever see the light of day. Jaguar Wright has suggested that there are numerous tapes and has gone so far as to suggest who might actually have those tapes. She doesn't state the foundation for her knowledge, but states with considerable conviction the existence of these tapes and who it involves. Here's some footage where she makes mention of the relevant famous people who she states very firmly and with conviction have Diddy freak tapes. Here is the footage.
I believe Barack Obama got a tape.
Yeah, he playing hide the hot dog.
I know Jennifer Lopez has multiple tapes.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
I know Beyonce got a tape.
Ooh.
I definitely know they probably recycled some old Stevie J and Eve stuff. I know Drake got a tape. I know Rihanna got a tape. I know Chris Brown's on one of them tapes. I know Trey Songz has been like a supporting actor in many freak off film. Definitely Usher. I think what would shock people are the politicians and the royals that were on that tape. And I'm still trying to figure out when Harry and Meghan are going to be honest about their freak off tape. The royal family had many times at Ditty Party.
Now, having watched and listened to Jaguar, right, I think the first impression you'll gain is that's not somebody who's hesitant about the accusations that she's making. And they're very serious ones to suggest that the named individuals have tapes, freak-off tapes. The insinuation being that these tapes demonstrate that they're involved in something nefarious. There's no specificity or particularization given as to what precisely they're alleged to have done, but the insinuation is that they have a tape and that must therefore have something unpleasant on it, which they'd rather not see the light of day. A veritable list of individuals are identified by Jaguar, right, where she says she believes Barack Obama has a tape, Jennifer Lopez has multiple tapes, Beyonce has a tape. She definitely knows that they've recycled some old Stevie J and Eve stuff. She states, I know that Drake's got a tape. I know Rihanna has a tape. I know Chris Brown is on one of those tapes. Trey Songz is a supporting actor. Definitely Usher. And then she goes on to state, what will shock people are the politicians and the royals. And then she states, I'm waiting for when Harry and this one's wife are going to be honest about their freak-off tape. A very clear allegation that this one's wife and Harry have a freak-off tape. No detail given as to when it took place or what they're meant to have been doing, but the suggestion they have something that they ought to be concerned about in relation to the existence of a tape involving P Diddy. Now, this may all just be complete speculation on the part of this individual. This might be somebody who is seeking to grab some fame and attention for themselves by bandying these names around without a shred of evidence, and in such circumstances would be defaming the individuals that are mentioned. Or might it be that this individual knows something and is engaging in some speculation based upon some evidence, based upon, for instance, knowledge that taping took place, that these individuals have been at parties, and therefore putting two and two together, she has concluded that since they attended the parties and these tapes were regularly created, they probably appear in them. Of course, she's very forthright in what she alleges. She talks about definite, and this person has certainly got a tape, etc. But the suggestion is that the Sussexes have a freak-off tape, and therefore that there is some association with P Diddy and his activities. Again, it's important to emphasise that he hasn't actually been convicted of anything and he denies the allegations. But there's plenty of mud being flung around, and it's certainly not a good look for Harry and this one's wife to have any form of association with P Diddy. We know from parts passim that there has been a past association with Harry and P Diddy, and it wouldn't be a surprise to learn that they would have had a further involvement as they attempt to court celebrity and try and climb up the greasy pole in that regard. The nature of this one's wife attempting to piggyback off more famous and well-known individuals is something that she regularly engages in. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's attended any kind of sex party or was involved in any kind of freak-off tape. But the very suggestion that is being bandied around by this individual, who credibility, you can make a determination about yourself, is clearly going to be problematic for someone like this one's wife who trades on her facade of being a kind and blameless individual who is a victim of the malicious behaviours of others. If it transpires that such a tape does exist and has their involvement, Could that potentially sink the Sussexes? Well, we would only have to wait and see, as at this juncture it would be entire speculation. But it is hugely problematic for a narcissist of this one's wife's ilk, by virtue of the problem it poses for her facade, and naturally it's a threat to her control to suggest that she's been involved in some kind of activity. We don't know precisely the level of involvement. It might just be attendance at one of the parties where nothing happened. But again, should it be the case that P Diddy is convicted of the various abuses and crimes that he's been accused of and the civil suits succeed in their judgments, the fact that this one's wife and Harry attended a party, even though it might have been one where nothing happened, would still mean that they would be tainted by association. If it's more than that, well, that really could prove problematic for them. What do you think? Do you think these are the ramblings of a conspiracy theorist who's out to get her 15 minutes of fame? Do you think that there's substance in what she alleges? Do you think that the Sussexes have something to hide? And if so, to what extent do you think they've got a problem? Do you think it's quite simply they might have attended a function there, a party where nothing actually happened, but there's a risk of them being tainted by association? Or do you believe there's something darker that has taken place? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.